Hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Cozy Corner. I'm Brianna, and this is the Crazy Cozy Corner. It is bedtime, but what we're going to do this video, we're going to talk about the books that I read in April. These books this month, I think I enjoyed more than my reading month last month, but I mean, I might be crazy. Also, forgive me, I'm going to be looking at my little note card because I didn't want to bring my laptop all the way upstairs. So, I wrote down before I started this because I can't look on my phone because that's where I record. So we started off reading The Girl with No Reflection. I rated it 3 stars. So basically, this is a fantasy world. It's like a fantasy romance, romantasy, for lack of better terms. And this girl, she gets married off into this royal family. Well, she's going to be married off, and the day of her wedding, something like that, she finds out that there's this parallel reality to her reality, and it leeches the light from her world to have their own, because they're just kind of stuck as reflections. And so she finds out that there's this reality, and she goes into it and switches places with her alter ego. And basically, these mirror people, are tired of having to live a life as a reflection of this, of us, And so it's kind of her falling in love with maybe the wrong person, maybe the right person, and then, kind of going on an adventure to a self-discovery, but also discovering, her romantic interest. And I'm not really selling this book well. It was cute. I really enjoyed it. The cover, beautiful, beautiful cover. I would have loved to see more I don't know how to word it, but more, not necessarily consistency, but just more from our male main character. I wish you could have seen him fall in love, rather than it was kind of abrupt. And I didn't yay, they got together, but I wasn't really a big fan of that. But that was The Girl with No Reflection. Next, we read Monstrous Devices. Now, that book just hit for some reason. I've been one to dog on middle grade books that I've read as an adult, right? Because I know I would have loved it as a kid, but now when I grow up, I'm oh, I don't know. Am I grown up? But my tastes have changed, obviously. That's how growing up works, or not necessarily maturing. I don't think you have to be super immature to be reading those books, but just your tastes change. I am digging myself a hole. Let me switch before I just go deeper. But that sorry. Monstrous Devices is by Damien, and I rated it a 4 star. I cannot tell you other than it was just the right timing for that book. It's a fantasy sci-fi type genre, and I loved that the plot was not just there was no romance in this book at all. Knock some spray paint over. Okay. Usually there's a subplot of romance in my books. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But this, there was none of that. And so it was really just testing if I even really like fantasy or sci-fi on its own. And I do. I think Damien wrote it so well. It explored kind of darker themes, also brought in maybe some crafts. That's the best way I can say it, of maybe darker parts of things that people would call magic, but it's really maybe not. I don't know. I still don't really fully understand how the robots of the world work. But basically, you follow this boy, and let me tell you, I don't remember names. I remember his grandpa because I called him Grandpa. So there's that. But you follow this boy, and he's kind of bullied for being different. always, right? But he really likes robots, and that's something that him and his grandfather have bonded over. And all of a sudden, he sends this new robot to, oh gosh, what is his name? I don't know how many times you've seen me struggle for names. I wish I could remember. Alex? I don't think that's his name. I don't know. Anyways, the boy, he gets this robot, and it's a little bit different, and but like a little more old-fashioned than the other robots he has, but he loves it all the same. Well, when he was cleaning it, he accidentally got a little bit of his like blood in there, and like that's what I'm saying. Like the craft influences are there, but he starts this adventure of these magical robots and just weird things, but really cool and weird. And I need to find the second book. I can't really, I don't know, I can't go into too much detail without like totally spoiling it, but I think I talk about it in a video last month, I'm pretty sure. So like I think what I'm gonna have to do is every time I'm reading a book, I'm gonna have to do like a halfway update for this like video so that it actually makes sense. And I know some people script it. I can tell you the things that come out of my mouth are not scripted. You couldn't tell, right? Bunny trail. I'm gonna come back. Okay. So that was Monstrous Devices. Like I said, if you want to hear more about it, I have a video talking about it. But yeah, it was a good book. This next one, I can tell you, I did not like. I read The Hobbit. It was a 2-star. And I really, really wanted to like this. Because like I was talking about with Monstrous Devices, there's usually like that, like, a romance subplot in what I read. And so there wasn't. So I was really excited. I was like, yes, I could be just a regular, like, hardcore fantasy type thing. And I don't know what it was about The Hobbit. It was just boring to me. Now, it's not that it's not good. It's just not something that caught my attention and like made me like want to hone in. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. People love The Hobbit, and it's just not for me. And honestly, if someone could like tell it to like sum it up nice and beautifully without me having to read it, I think it would be like a really cool like what's it called, plot, thought. It'd be a cool experience. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just didn't enjoy it. And that's obviously it's by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I just, unfortunately, it didn't hit. Am I going to read the entire series? Most likely. We'll see. I've said that with a few books, and I'm like, I'm not really caring to move on. But I do own these, so gotta read what you have. At least that's what I tell myself, right? Next, I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and that is by Heather Morris, and it was a 3-star. It was a 3-star. Sometimes I don't know where my brain was at. Again, this is one that I talked about in a previous video. Yeah, it has to be a previous video because I haven't even started. Well, I did start filming for one of the other ones this month, but anyways, I have no words. Man, the Holocaust. It's a hard pill to swallow that it actually existed and happened, you know. But yeah, so we follow Lale. I remember the name, look at that, but Lale and Gita, but mostly Lale. She comes later, but it's just his journey in surviving Auschwitz, what he had to do, like the things he had to endure and also like perpetrate. And like, I mean, I don't think anybody really wanted to be cutting into people's skin and rubbing ink in it. Like anytime I read about it, like, oh, it made me like my hands and everything like cringe, because I that's rough. Like, I can't even begin to, like, put myself in the shoes. Like, I can try, but I don't know. It's more of an existential crisis on my part. But the book was so good, and like the afterward, like the author talking about meeting Lale and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. And then like the son, his words for the book and everything, like it's just like the book wasn't real until it was, right? And so it's just wow. Then, for a little bit fluffier of a read, I read The View from Rainshadow Bay, which is by Colleen Coble, and it was a 3-star. Very different 3-star from The Tattooist of Auschwitz, I gotta say. It's a mystery romance, but mostly romance. And this is the first book in, like, I guess, the Lavender Tide series. And this follows Shauna and whoever her love interest is. And she blames him for like her husband's death, and they were married, right? Yeah. Sorry. It just follows a similar plot to a Christmas romance that I read last year, where it's like, I mean, she didn't necessarily blame him though. But anyways, it felt similar. But he is kind of, you know, an adrenaline junkie, and not her husband, the guy that, it's not necessarily second chance. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, he's an adrenaline junkie, kind of going even crazier because he thinks he should have died instead of his friend. And so is living life like super crazy. I mean, not super crazy. He just did, like things for the adrenaline. Like maybe like the best thing I can say, like skydiving, or he planned on volcano surfing and stuff like that. And so, I mean, it is crazy because I'm not that adventurous, but like for her, it just kind of looked like he wasn't changing or anything, and she didn't want her son to be around that. But things change and someone dies. A good family friend of hers is killed in an explosion, and she has to kind of figure out if she's in danger, is her family in danger, what's going on. And so yeah, you follow that mystery, and spoiler alert, they get together, and he realizes that chasing the adrenaline high isn't worth it anymore, especially if he's going to be in the kid's life. And I'm like, you go, sir, because you don't want to be that kind of influence. And there was like a scene in the book where I don't know if it was like off the cliff. No, he was, yeah, like the Shauna's son grabbed like a boogie board and was gonna go like be super reckless, and it was a wake up moment for the guy, and he was like, I obviously need to change because what I do is affecting this wonderful, beautiful child in front of me. And I'm like, yes, think of the children's. Think of the children's. And then my final completed book, depending on how the books I'm reading right now go, but like for this video, the final completed book was, oh no, I'm ahead of myself. Actually, then I read Fearless by Lauren Roberts, and that was a 4-star. It was so much better. When I tell you, it was so much better than Reckless. Like, Reckless was not a bad book. It was cute. It was just kind of cat and mousey, and I didn't like that. Just not my cup of tea, especially when it was super repetitive to me. But this one, I really liked it. However, I did hate the end. I didn't think they should get I didn't think Kai and Peyton, yeah, I think that's how you'd say, I didn't think they should end up together. Crazy. Like, I was so rooting for them, but towards the end I was like, nah. And like, it definitely, like, I think she said it was inspired by like Hunger Games and the Red Queen, but it was definitely giving the Red Queen, with like the 2 brothers, and it was a good twist on the obsession not being on Peyton. I thought that was really cool. But like, I think I don't remember, is it Maven or whatever? I think that was his name in the Red Queen, the younger brother, and then like oh god, Kit. So like I'm just a sucker, okay? I just wanted them to be good. And you know, it's just, you are how you're raised, unfortunately. Especially, you know, when you didn't have choice and then all of a sudden you have choice, and yeah, it was just really sad. But anyways, it's the final book of the Powerless series, and I mean, for now, right? And Peyton and Kai are kind of navigating this new territory. Kit has proposed marriage, and it's terrible. Also, side note, spoilers, you guys know how I feel about incest, right? I'm not going to go any further than that, but like, you know how I struggled through the Mortal Instruments series, but I'm so thankful this was at the end of the book, okay? It's okay, we're just gonna... Anyways. Anyways, back to that. They're kind of trying to navigate palace life and loving each other, but not being allowed to be together. Although, like, they weren't slick. Like, they weren't slick at all, and they were always like sneaking off. So I'm like, you thought that you weren't like up each other's butt? Like you really thought? Okay, whatever. I'm not being a hater, because it was cute until I didn't like that they ended up together. I don't know. I feel like it's super controversial, but I was like, it just doesn't feel right. It didn't feel right after what had happened. But I guess like maybe I just didn't feel like the connection and love between them, and that's why it didn't feel right. I don't know. Anyways, that was Fearless by Lauren Roberts. And now we're going to talk about the actual final book. This is that I finished. I might finish another one, but we'll see. I'll tell you next month. Imposters. I finished that. That is by Scott Westerfeld. I think it's Westerfeld. I used to call him Westerfield, but it doesn't have an I. It's Westerfeld. And that rated that 4 stars. I don't know how to explain other than I liked the book until I found out that it was a series, and then I was like, but I liked how the book ended, because like it's one of those where you could stop there if you wanted to. I don't want to. I want to figure out what happens, but like you could. It doesn't feel emergent to continue reading, in my opinion. But Imposters, this is set in the world of the Uglies. And I can't go into too much detail because it'll be in a video later this month, because it's the iBook, and it's literally the only iBook. But let's see. It's set in the world of the Uglies. It's just later on, after Tally has, you know, liberated the pretties, and they're kind of learning to rule themselves again. Well, human nature always comes through. This is why they should have stayed stupid, I guess. But yeah, we follow, well, I would say we follow a pair of twins, but really we only follow one of them. And like her, does it switch POVs? I don't think it switches POVs very often, if it does. And I think it's third person. I mean, I guess it's been a second since I read it. Oops. But Frey is the twin we follow, and she's basically been raised as a body double for her sister, and like bodyguard, take care of her, be her when it's more dangerous. And so no one but a few people know that Frey exists. And so there's this exchange that they do with the Palafox family, and she's basically held hostage to keep her father at bay. What do you think he's going to do with the extra? Like, really? But yeah, so that's the story we follow. She might fall in love. She might join a rebellion. She might, you know, kill her father. You never know. Might be a red herring I just thrown. I don't know. But that was Imposters. And, you know, some books are just at the right time. That's the only thing I can say about them. Like, I can't tell you why I would give them a 4 star. If I like really thought about it, I'd be like, But like, at that time, it was a 4-star, so I'm going to stick with that rating. But books I'm currently reading, I'm trying to read Juvie 3. I read the prologue, and I think that was like 1 page, and so pray for me. And then I'm reading Shiver, and I'm listening to that as well, and I'm actually like 60, no, not that far. I'm like 55 to 60% of the way through it, and oh my Lanta. That's all I have to say. I need to pull out the camera and vlog that, because that's a part of my TBR tackle, because it gets, anyways, yeah. So, oh my Lanta is all I'm gonna say. But yeah, that is the books I've read and I'm currently reading, and I actually didn't is that a lie? I don't think so. I didn't DNF any books this past month, which, good for me. But yeah, okay, yeah. So I also read Emily Wilde's Compendium of Stories, and it was a cute way to end the series. I can't remember if, I think it was a 4-star, 3 to 4-star, 3.5. It was cute. It just felt like a good way to end the series, I think. And I was actually happy that they ended up together, so that was a step up from Fearless, but this was also before I read Fearless, so yeah, that's all I can really say on it, because I don't remember too much at this moment, because I missed it when I was doing the wrap-up, obviously, and so now I'm kind of like just wanting to talk about it, because it was a great book, I want to own the book so bad. But yeah, that's the other book that I got done this month, and it was good. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I love hanging out with you. Like, subscribe, share, ring the notification bell, comment chicken nuggets. Honestly, that's probably going to be the running theme. If you're here at the end, comment chicken nuggets, and I'll know you're here. You're the real ones. If you have any requests on books I should read, or just want to comment on a book, like maybe you disagree and you think that Fearless was the perfect ending and that Kai and Peyton should have ended up together, tell me about it. I'd love to hear about it. But I'll see you in the next. Bye.